if you are speeding forward to hear a listener letter, no, I need you to go back and hear these gems that Queen Rachel have been dropping. We have to wrap this up, but I am just on fire. I have literal goosebumps. But okay, let's get into our listener letter. I am going to give the reins to Rachel to answer, but wait until y'all hear how aligned this is. So this week's listener letter is from Trying Not to Text Him, but I already did.
Been there.
Dear Raquel, okay, so here's the situation. I am tired of living in what I've officially named my Groundhog Day era. Every year I give myself the same speech. This is it. This is the year I stopped choosing chaos. And every year, like clockwork, I find myself back with the same situationship, the same sabotaging habits, and the same pattern of saying yes when my whole spirit is screaming, girl, no. I know what to do. I've read the books, listened to the podcast, highlighted quotes like my life depends on it. And yet somehow, when it's time to actually choose differently, my brain disconnects. It's not that I don't want better, it's that I can't seem to choose better in the moment. I get pulled right back into the familiar, even when the familiar hurts. My therapist says I'm in a pattern, but honestly, at this point, it feels like the pattern is driving the car and I'm just the emotional passenger. How do I break something I keep rebuilding? And how do I choose the version of me I say I want to become instead of the one I keep falling back into? Sincerely, Trying Not to Text Him.
I mean, I first just want to like give you a hug. It's so hard. I mean, here's the thing. Like, go watch my TEDx talk. It's all about breaking patterns. Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to the lightning method.
Yes.
But choose one. Choose one thing that breaks your habit, because out of everything you said you're doing, not a single thing was action. You said, I'm reading all the things, I'm highlighting. That's not taking action. And that's the thing that is the difference between like ingesting versus like action oriented, and repeating that action over and over and over again. So it may even be like, again, if it's too hard, because when you're going, I'm not going to call him, I'm not going to call him, I'm not going to call him, right? If you tell a kid, don't touch the top, what are they going to do? They're going to touch it.
Yeah.
So we have to disrupt that pattern by doing something else. So how about every time you want to text him, you have to do 20 push-ups. And I know this sounds like so stupid. I want to be very clear. I know that sounds stupid. But it changes your brain, because then you're like, okay, you have interrupted that pattern. That's what happens. When a loop repeats over and over and over again, it's almost like you have to throw a wedge in the door to keep the door open, right? Like, we have to do something to break that pattern. And when you do that, then you become more aware of what the pattern is. And it may start as something as silly as like, every time I want to text him, I go outside and I go for a walk or whatever. Like, and I know you're like, Rachel, I don't just like live at home and you go for walks all the time. But whatever, like you'll pick your thing, right? But I think it's important to know that it's like, it is the thing that disrupts the pattern.
Yes.
And then when you disrupt one pattern, then all of your other patterns will start to stack. And you'll start to see and become aware of all of the ways that you create this loop, and then you'll see more places that you can take action. So I think it's overwhelming when we look at it of like, why do I keep spending money when I know that I don't have any money? Well, you're trying to look at this whole thing instead of like, what's one thing that we can do different? Or every time that you have an instinct to buy something, and you want to buy a $2,500 bag. Okay, if you need to scratch that itch, like, could you go to like a local bookstore or something and like buy like a book, or buy like is it something like that? So we just have to like, what is a more supportive choice of something that you could do? Every time we want to text him, like, could you go on Hinge? Could you like, what is something else that can break that pattern that puts the onus back on you and helps you make a more supportive choice?
Ooh, I love that. I love how you said something to throw a wedge, because again, that's an action.
Yes.
And we always hear that people are like, I am planning to start a podcast. I am planning to do this. I want to stop texting this person. But what you're saying is you are doing everything in anticipation of, rather than just throwing the wedge.
Yeah.